KFAN welcomes some great shows to Mystic Lake Amphitheater. The legendary Bob Dylan will be there July 6th, Motley Crue on August 21st, and Santana and the Doobie Brothers on August 27th. Get the complete details on all of our upcoming shows in the concert page at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Hello, it's program password here on the Fan. I'm Common. That's Tennessee, Lil B, Charch, and Barnes are here. Where are we at for a score? It seems like it's a bad. It seems like tough words today, or is that just me?
We got three former champions in there. We got to step up the difficulty.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it.
I'm looking. The next word's going to be like ennui.
I've never even heard of that word. So.
Right.
Pass.
Right. Sounds like a video game thing.
Yeah.
Common in charge. You lead by 1 point. It is 30-29. If you want to watch the second half of Program Password, you may do so right now at KFAN.com/watch. I would just subscribe to the KFAN YouTube channel if I were you. All right. Are we ready? Are we done taking selfies?
Well,
it's for the gram.
We are showing off our faces because we are taking our collagen and our magnesium.
Well,
Are we?
Vitamin C and retinol. That's all I can handle.
Recommended by
Will be.
Thank you. And look at her. Look at Martin's. Look at that face.
Yeah.
Nobody mentioning the copious Botox, I notice.
That's because I haven't gotten it in a while. I'm way behind.
I haven't done it.
My 11s are.
Yeah.
I don't
like
know.
a 33.
The 11s.
El Natural.
Yeah. I can tell.
You can tell. Yeah. Oh, there's
Right.
I thought I had a ruddy complexion.
It wasn't ruddy.
It was a rotten complexion. That's okay. I'm all right with it.
All right. Let's play.
Let's play.
Charch and Lil B, take a look at the iPad. The password is dough. All right, Lil B, down a point. Second half beginning. This is your layup. You have the option. Would you like to go first or second?
I'm going to try first.
Okay.
All right, Lil B and Marnie for 10.
Kneading.
Dough.
Wow.
Oh!
Man, I'm thinking about that same clue, but I'm like, nobody will know the K is at the beginning of kneading.
That's why I was
That's impressive.
going through my head.
That's
Kneading,
impressive.
Like,
That's why they're
need
champs.
You or I can need you.
I do can need you.
Wow, that was so good. I mean, I've never needed dough. Well, I did when I was younger and didn't have a job.
Yeah.
But I've never, but I would not have, I would have said wanted, needing, wanting. That's very good.
Right.
That's
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
That's why they're the Broad Squad. 39-30, Lil B and Marnie regain the lead. Common and Marnes, take a look at the iPad. The password is candle. Common options on you. You're down 9 points. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
All right, to regain the lead, Common and Charch for 10.
Wick.
Candle.
Wow. Good clue.
Brilliant.
Yeah, well, fine, Wayne. I'm beginning to feel, you can tell who, if anybody that was listening, if Tennessee just said, who are the three former champs, no one would say me.
Well, they might have figured that clue.
Until this year. All right, Common Charch regain the lead, 40-39. Maybe Charch can travel in for Utah for the tournament. You guys can be teammates together.
He's not going to come all the way from Utah.
No.
Well, if it were all in one day, I would do it, but it's staggered over 5 different appearances.
Can we figure out how to get you to just play from Utah?
Maybe.
Maybe we figure
Don't
that out.
tell me.
Charch and Lil B, take a look at the iPad, please. The password is kind. I feel like we've been alternating the options for a while here. We're back on you, Lil B. You're down a point. What do you want to do? Go first or second? 5 seconds.
I'll try first.
All right, Lil B and Marnie for 10.
Polite.
Manners.
Charch and Common for 9.
Thoughtful.
Lil B and Marnes for 8.
Humble.
Kind. Yes!
should have got it off yours.
Great Tim McGraw song.
I was gonna say, I have no idea what that's from.
That's going to be a great show.
Marnes and I are going to be singing that one live.
Is that a country and western
That's a country
song?
and western song.
Yeehaw!
Is that the concert where the Chicks are opening for them?
Yep, and Marnes and I will be there.
I will be there. I might duck out by the time McGraw gets on. But
What do you mean?
I just want to go there for the Chicks.
Oh, they're great.
No, you want to go for Tim.
And
I did the same
we're bringing
thing
a
when
6-year-old, by the way.
I went to see the Pretenders.
Yeah.
And Stevie Nicks was the headliner. I left right after the Pretenders were done. I like Stevie Nicks with Fleetwood Mac, but as a solo, just watch her spin around in circles with her flowing robes. Can't do it.
Can't do it.
So same thing with Tennessee.
Yeah, once Tim McGraw gets on, I'll be pumping my fists and walking out of the stadium.
He is wearing the exact opposite of a flowing robe.
He's wearing-
and that's why Wilby and Marnie will be saying until they kick us out.
Is he wearing Wranglers or Gerbots?
He's wearing some tight Wranglers and an even tighter shirt.
Tank.
Yeah,
You're really there for the music, I can tell.
I am. He's got some slammers.
By the way,
If we started talking about that sexist stuff with a male that we're going to see the
Yeah.
female because she's wearing a skimpy little dress,
Yeah.
would you think that was bad? You would
I would be
rip us.
used to it.
But you would rip us.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's okay. Isn't that double standard? Isn't that funny?
yeah.
I'm there for the music, for the art.
Samesies.
No, you're there. Just said you're there for the tight shirts
No, I'm
and the
there,
jeans.
and also for his bangers.
no, what? Oh,
Is that
and
what
by
you
the
call
way,
them?
yeah.
That's
Bangers?
what I call.
Yeah.
Never mind. What's the word?
You wouldn't care if he had bangers or not. I can tell. This is sad.
He's
really.
got hits.
We are there.
No, but I'm saying you go. Well, and the music too. I
And the
guess.
music, too.
Yeah, yes, it's no big deal. But that's not the main
Outdoor
reason.
concert, Marnes,
The Chicks.
beers.
Chicks are awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet.
And we are there for the barbecue stain on his white
T-shirt.
By the way, I'm reading some comments
Yeah.
at KFAN.com/watch, KFAN YouTube channel. I agree with this. It says, Marnes and Lil B need a podcast. You two got to
podcast,
get
sure.
do a podcast
Yeah,
together.
fine.
Can we get that sponsored?
Yeah, because no money, no funny.
We'll think about it. All right. It's 47-40. Lil B and Marnes, the Broad Squad, with the lead.
What's the score?
47-40. Common and Marnie. Take a look at the iPad. The password is cover. Might as well just name the podcast Broad Squad.
Oh, genius.
Common. You're down 7 points. The option is on you. You want to go first or second?
We'll go first.
All right, to regain the lead, Common and Charge for 10.
Lid.
Top?
Marnie and Lil B for 9.
Topper.
Cover?
I should have went second.
Great answer.
It was, lid and cover was gettable.
Yes.
That was, I could have gotten that. Yep.
This is the largest lead of the day. It's been a one-possession game the entire time. Now it is 56-40. Lil B and Marnie
We're a
have a
second half team.
16-point lead. Charge and
halftime
Lil B. Take a look at the iPad. The password is level. All right, Charge down 16 points. You have the option. You want to go first or second? Five seconds.
Second.
All right, Lil B and Marnie for 10.
Even.
Smooth.
Say any word.
Charge and Common for 9.
Flat.
Level.
Bang. Nicely done.
I was even odd.
I know. I know.
So I was.
That was why I didn't go
second word.
first for exactly that reason.
I was thinking
Yep.
par.
Right. What would you know about even par?
I was gonna say, definitely not what I would think when given that clue. It's back to a one-possession game, 56-49. Lil B and Marnie with that 7-point lead. Common and Marnes. Take a look at the iPad. The password is force. right, Common, you can regain the lead. You're down 7 points. You have the option. You want to go first or second? Five seconds.
I'll go second.
All right, Marnie and Lil B for 10.
Power.
Ranger.
That's great.
Great show.
Common in charge for 9. Five seconds.
Allie.
Cat.
Marnes and Lil B for 8.
Gravity.
Lift.
Common in charge for 7.
Make.
Force.
Yeah. You know who Allie Force is?
I don't. I was
wondering what that was.
I was sitting on
Sideline
Force,
report.
and then you said Allie, and I'm like, well, okay, it's not that.
Sideline reporter.
The
Allie
NBA
Force.
sideline reporter.
That's one of those where I thought, did you missee the word?
No,
Did you not
I
see it
just-
correctly?
it's the
When
only
you
thing
did
I think
Allie,
of.
I was thinking
I
behind
know.
a
Well, I
house
knew it was
where you
bad
drive
clue,
down
but
the...
I didn't
Right.
know it was.
I think the best clue that I see at KFAN.com is it centrifugal?
Oh, boom! That would have been a
I don't know how
winner.
you come up with that word.
I would not have. I don't think I'd have come up with that.
Can you spell
That
it?
was a good one.
We have ourselves a tie ball game. It is 56 to 56. Charge and Lil B. Take a look at the iPad. The password is SAW. All right, it's a tie game. So the possession arrow moves over to the guys. So, Charge, you have the option here. Do you want to go first or second?
First,
All right, to regain the lead, Charge and Common for 10.
Buzz.
Lightyear.
Lil B and Marnie for 9.
Scene.
B.
Charge and Common for 8.
Rotary.
Dial.
Lil B and Marnie for 7.
Miter.
Saw.
Oh, yeah.
Should have said that
Because someone's saying the window
of a
to
glare.
Common's right needs a shade at this time of day.
I
It
know,
throws the
it
glare
does.
off the video.
Because it's on the left monitor, yeah.
Can't we pull it down there?
Well, yeah, but I'm not tall enough to reach
Okay.
that.
Gosh.
During a commercial break, I'll get my
right.
guy to do it.
Very good.
I got a guy.
All right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can reach that. If you would like to have me do that now, I'm
Yeah,
happy
you
to
go
do
ahead.
that.
While
Yeah,
we-
you could
while-
try. It's
yeah, you can go ahead
twisted
and
up in
try.
the light.
While we go ahead and
Give it a try.
give it a try while we take a look at the password.
All right, it's 63 to 56. Lil B and Marnie have the lead. They are 17 points away from a victory.
Come on, Marnes.
Common and Marnie, take a look at the iPad, please. The password is pay. Common down 7. Option is on you. Do you want to go first or second? Five seconds.
I'll go first.
All right, Common and Charge for 10.
Salary.
Pay.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Good clue. Nice job. We are in a grinder
Yeah,
over
that
here.
was a good
Holy
one.
cow.
That was a good one. I did not think you were going to say pay. Great clue.
It was.
By the way, the glare is now better, but there's still a little bit of glare from the other window, Charge.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Okay, hang on.
Common and Charge now have the lead. They have 66. Lil B and Marnie have 63, so Common and Charge 14 away from a win. Lil B and Marnes 17 away from a win.
I think they figured out what I can do best in a radio studio.
Yeah.
Close the blinds.
Close the blinds.
All right, Charge and Lil B, take a look at the iPad. The password is block. All right, Lil B, down 3 points. Option is on you. You want to go first or second?
First.
All right, Lil B and Marnie for 10.
Cinder.
Block.
I thought it was one of those where you're going to be singing. I just thought it was one of the singing ones. 'Cause they always get the singing ones.
I was
Thought you were
disappointed
singing
you
New
didn't
Kids
sing
on
part
the
of
Block
Shallow.
or something.
There wasn't a word in shallow, like a one word in that song.
Yeah, I know. Lil
I
B
struggle with it.
and Marnes, you have 73. So if you get 7 or more points,
on,
you
Marnes.
win. Common and Charge, you're at 66. You're still 14 away. Common and Marnie. Take a look at the iPad. The password is wave. All right, Common, down 7. Options on you. Do you want to go first or second?
First,
All right, to regain the lead, Common and Charge for 10.
surf.
Marnie and Lil B for 9 and the win.
Ride.
Wave.
They win. Broad Squad back.
The Broad Squad's back.
I probably
That was,
should have
I was thinking verb surf, like
Yeah.
you're surfing on the board.
Right.
I didn't think
had
noun
it.
surf.
I probably should have went on a second, maybe clue, but I didn't know.
No, you gave a good
that was
clue.
good.
Nope, you gave a good
That was
clue.
fun. That was
a
and
good game, guys.
I blew it.
Glad
that
you
was a
came
good
all.
job.
Well, you had something else. So you worked the draft last. If you came
Yeah.
all the way in to lose a program,
I did.
have been a little-
I
I'd
took a
feel bad for-
$23 Uber each way to lose program pass.
we
Good
can't
to see
express
you
that.
again. Thanks for
That
coming
hurts.
in
Yeah,
and
it was
helping
great
with
to
the
see you,
draft
Sarge.
coverage.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Marnes, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you for coming in. You guys make it so much fun.
Thanks for
Lil
having
B,
me.
as always, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
A break. We come back. We got more Common Man program on the other side of the break here on The Fan.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword GRAND at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is GRAND. Enter now at KFAN.com. Hey, join me, Tennessee, at Fleet Farm in Monticello tomorrow for their Fleet Fest celebration. You can join us from 10 a.m. to noon for incredible deals, free food, and prizes. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Closed circuit to all stations along the Common Man Radio Network. We'll straddle the 45 here because of the length of program password. Tennessee, you can be honest with me. Can you tell there's a big drop-off between Marnes, Lil B, and Charch and me? Or am I imagining that? Or is it a big drop?
I think your record reflects where you are.
Yeah, I'm the best of the loudest,
Yeah.
loudest of the
Not
best.
bad. Yeah,
But do you think there's a big drop-off between those? I mean, are they like so much better than me that maybe the next time you have the three of them in, I should bob out and you can be JG in or something?
Well, JG's got I think he's got a worse regular season record than you do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say big drop off, no.
All right. I mean, you can go ahead and rip me. I mean, I ripped my son right out of the gate today, so you can go ahead and rip me if you'd like. Wild.
I think you just need the right teammate.
Yeah. Wild tomorrow, 4:30 on this radio station.
Yes.
Do we do a pregame, 15, half, or just straight to the game?
They are doing an extended pregame at 3 o'clock, I believe.
Okay, 3 bells. This is so cliche, but I'm going to say it anyways. Tennessee, you can't say it's a must win because if they lose, it's 3-1. Well, then it becomes a must win because if not, you go home. And they technically would go home because if it went to 3-1, they're going back to Dallas. They would lose in Dallas and have to come back home. But this is about as close. It just feels like it, right? Because the series was tied at 1, and that third game was as even as it could get as far as on the scoreboard, the play. And again, you know more hockey than maybe one team. Oftentimes in hockey, the rink does seem to be tilted in one way, and one team outplays the other team, and yet another team gets a little puck luck and wins. But it seemed like it was two evenly matched clubs going back and forth trying. And then the Wild had their opportunities. Kaprizov hits the pipe. We had a couple of power plays in overtime. We end up losing. So it's a heartbreaker. The players after the game all said the right things that, hey, it's like the coach says, 6-1 or 3-2, doesn't matter. It's all the same, and there's no panic in this locker room and none of that, blah, blah, blah. But this does seem like it's, if you don't win here, winning 3 in a row against a team as good as Dallas would be a tall order, right?
I think it feels that way mostly because of the history of the Wild, right? The fact that they've lost in the first round for a good chunk of their existence. And so I think mentally and psychologically, there's concerns about how they would react to being down 3-1. Obviously, most teams you're down 3-1, other than the 2003 Minnesota Wild, like you're in trouble. I will say I would feel a little different about this one just because there are times you're down 3-1 in a series because the other team is significantly better than you.
Right.
And the odds of you beating a team that is significantly better than you 3 times is astronomical. Whereas this one, right, you have zero margin for error. You need a stellar goaltending performance 3 games in a row. This one I would at least feel a difference where the Wild are just as good as the Dallas Stars. So, yeah, it would be hard to beat them 3 times in a row, but they would be more than capable of doing it because they're on Dallas's level. And so they have a little bit more margin for error than a team that is just significantly better than you. But yeah, obviously it's a pivotal, crucial game. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Because you're the hockey guy and I'm not. Like in football, if you play a team the first time, let's say interdivision game, you play them, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in the same season. But let's say it's Green Bay, Minnesota, right? And you play a game, and let's say the Vikings lose to Green Bay the first time. Well, it might be because, they ran the ball real well to this direction, or this play action work. We did this, their strength. You can change up your game plan. I don't know if they can do that in hockey as well. And I don't even know if there's anything to change up. Is there? I mean, you had the blowout in game 1, close game 2, and close game 3. Is there any different strategy the Wild do? Do they shift up lines? That Volley's going to play again. Wally, right? You think?
I would assume so. Yeah, I can't imagine why he won. He's been playing great.
Right. So, is there anything like you look at it and go, we might have to fix this or change this up a little bit to try to get a different result, or is it just play like we've been playing? Just do what we do, let them do what they do, and let the pucks fall.
I don't think you need to, what everything we're doing, we're going to just throw it in the garbage and redo this whole thing and remodel it and take it down to the studs. I think there's some little things you can tweak. Now, I probably line combinations are not going to be tweaked unless you get some guys back healthy. There's probably if there's one area you can tweak some things, I think it is on the power play and special teams as always, because special teams is a little bit more predictable than the flow of a 5-on-5 game. When let's face it, a lot of teams play the same way 5-on-5, but the Wild power play did well in game 1, and then Dallas has ratcheted up their PK a little bit. Now, the Wild haven't had Matt Zuccarello, but as I mentioned with you yesterday, to me, the Wild's power play, especially in game 3, got very predictable. It was Boldy, Kaprizov, and Quinn Hughes passing the puck up high and on the exterior, and a lot of that was all of a sudden Bobby Brink's being thrown out on the power play, and they've never played on the power play with Bobby Brink. There's not an inherent trust there, and Bobby doesn't necessarily know what those guys want to do, and they don't know what Bobby likes to do. But I do think they need to try to find a way from an X's and O's standpoint to get the puck in. If Bobby is going to be there again, if Matt Zuccarello's out, and at least for today at practice, Bobby Brink was on that power play, that hey, we got to get the puck to Bobby here, and he's at the bumper position, and he's got to get it back out, because if you don't ever get the puck to the inside of the rink, if you never get it down to the goal line, then you become very predictable, and I felt like that's what happened last game.
Do you think we need to shoot?
Well, I mean, if there's a shooting lane to shoot at, that's great. If you force shots and it hits a shin pad and they clear it, and now it takes you another 30 seconds to get back in the zone, and you can't get it set up because they're very stingy on the zone entries. You don't just shoot just for the sake of shooting. But like I said, Kaprizov's biggest strength is being in that one-timer spot on the power play. And now without Zuccarello out of there, Zuccarello could find him better than anybody. And so now you're also kind of negating one of your best shooters on the power play because you don't have a guy, Boldy can get it over there occasionally, but you don't have a guy who consistently find that seam pass.
Now, because I wasn't really listening, I was just waiting for my turn to talk. Does this kind of sound partly what you were saying? It says Kaprizov has to produce and need to switch up PK, or this will be the Wild's last home game of the year. Switch up the PK, or do you just...
I mean, what do you mean by switch up the PK?
Well,
are you talking personnel, or are you talking about strategy?
That's what he means, or maybe I don't know what he means. That's what he left. I don't know. Because
the thing, the one goal that Dallas scored to tie the game in Game 3, that wasn't we got to change up our structure. Jared Spurgeon just turned the puck over. Instead of clearing it right away, he tried to make a little, 3-foot pass to, I forget who the forward, McCarron. And all of a sudden, Dallas picks it off and it's a 2-on-1 and they score, right? So it wasn't like, John Hines has got the wrong structure against that power play. But what's working for Dallas is they can score on the power play in multiple ways. Because Johnston is so effective in the slot and in that bumper role, they can go down low. You always have to pay attention to him, which opens up things on the outside. Where, like I said, right now, the Wild power play, or at least in Game 3, basically only 3 of the 5 guys were touching the puck. They weren't getting it down to Joel Eriksson-Ek. They weren't getting it down to Bobby Brink. So when Dallas only has to concern themselves with 3 players as opposed to 5 players, that makes it easier to defend. Right now, when you're going against the Dallas power play, you got to worry about Robertson. You got to worry about Johnson in the middle. You got to worry about Heiskanen. Duchesne is quality, and Rantanen. They have 5 guys who you have to pay attention to and specifically, they're giving a lot of attention to Johnson in this lot.
Because I really wasn't listening, was just waiting for my turn to talk. Is this sort of what you're saying? A power play that Dallas runs throws the puck to the goal line all the time, and then they work from there. Is that something the Wild could try?
Well, then that's what we're not doing.
Yeah. Why don't we try it?
Joel Eriksson-Ek is not on the power play level that some of Dallas guys are that can make plays there. He's more of a net front type guy, right? He can screens and tips and rebounds. But yeah, I mean, with Bobby Brink currently in the middle and Joel Eriksson-Ek not like the greatest hands in the world, it's not a huge threat. And then Boldy and Kaprizov are kind of just taking it on themselves to try to do it on their own when they do need to include those 2. At the very least, to open themselves back up.
If Kaprizov and the Wild can't produce because a 38-year-old Zuccarello isn't available, this isn't that great of a team, and Kaprizov is overpaid. Your thoughts? In other words, if just because Kaprizov's up, we're a mess, then there's something wrong.
We knew that they didn't have a lot of depth in their top 6. We've known that from the beginning of the year. Before the trade deadline, they opted to go get their big trade move was to get Quinn Hughes, which was a home run. I think that was a great trade. But what happened when you got Quinn Hughes is, and they didn't make a big trade before the deadline, is that was always going to be a problem, that if someone in your top 6 gets hurt, they don't have the depth to replace the top 6. The depth they have is all bottom 6 depth. The depth they have is, third pairing defenseman depth. They don't have top 6 depth. But I also do think, assuming Quinn Hughes resigns this summer, I think they're going to take a big swing at that top 6 in the summer. They just didn't feel the need to give up too much now to get that.
Hughes needs to, and he has this capitalized, move the puck. It is playoffs, and he's being played much tighter. He's lost too many pucks. If he moves it more, he can get it back. Is there any truth to that?
I don't think he's lost that many pucks. I actually think he's lost less than...
Okay.
The end of the regular season, he was having some moments where he was falling, getting the puck taken away. He was not playing great defensively, and I actually think he's cleaned up a lot of that stuff. But yes, Dallas is a good team. I hate to say this again. A lot of the people's concerns with the Minnesota Wild right now is strictly due to the unfortunate NHL schedule. If the Wild are playing the Edmonton Oilers or playing the Anaheim Ducks or the LA Kings, even the Vegas Golden Knights, we'd be out of the first round, and these issues that we're talking about would be happening later in the playoffs, and people wouldn't be as panicking. But they got the unfortunate draw of having to face probably one of the top 2 teams in the league. But the Wild are right there with them.
PK forwards are too slow to keep up with the speed. Dallas moves the puck around and get out of position, creating seams in the middle to pass puck.
Yeah, they had one of the best power plays in the National Hockey League. They're very good. I'd be more apt to say the Wild need to stop taking stupid penalties than I am they need to change their PK.
Hold on.
Like they're in the box way too often.
Here's one that says, hold on.
I mean, at this point, like the Wild aren't going to go on we're going to shut down the Dallas Stars power play for 4 games in a row. That's just not going to happen.
Rather than throwing Brink on power play 1, why not leave Faber in there and go 3 forwards, 2D, or give JoJo a chance? He can at least lug the puck into the zone with his skating ability.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
I don't disagree. I think Faber is very good offensively. He'd be a right-hand shot on that side. Obviously, then, Kaprizov or Boldy is in the middle, and maybe they're not getting the puck as much. But, yeah, they don't have a lot of great options after Zuccarello's out. But I don't know if Bobby Brink's going to be the answer. Clearly, Tarasenko wasn't the answer. I'm not sure Johansson would be either.
Is Faber the answer?
Out of all those guys, he'd probably be the one that I would try.
Yeah. This one says, rather than...
But the problem with Faber, too, is Faber would end up playing in a spot that he typically doesn't play on the power play.
Kaprizov with Brink and Hartman is not a recipe for success.
They could try Spurgeon over there. Do I think Faber is better offensively than Spurgeon? Yes, but Spurgeon has played that spot where Zuccarello is more often. He's a little more comfortable over there, but he's obviously not a huge threat.
Win a draw. Hartman was atrocious. Kaprizov line starting without pucks 75% of the time. Is that true?
I have not followed the Facebook and not Facebook, the
face-off
analytics to know the exact stats, but Dallas is always one of the best face-off teams, and yes, we are not winning enough face-offs, and that's partly because one of our flaws is we're not great down the middle. We don't have great face-off guys. We don't have great centers.
Here's a rip on Hughes. Hughes is predictable. All he does is spin away from people. Yeah, all he does is spin away from people, Tenemy. What do you think of that?
He is the opposite of predictable.
Oh, is he? Oh.
He's the least predictable player on the team.
Yeah, but we know he's going to try to spin away. He's going to go left. He's going to go right.
Because he's very good at it.
Okay.
Well, him spinning, the other defenseman would be throwing the puck off their stick at that point. He's trying to maintain possession of it.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right there. I'll have to take your word for it.
He is not predictable.
I like the negativity, though, myself. We'll take a break. One last segment to go, and then we turn it over to Big Ticket and JG. Common Man program along with Teneby, right? Cheering the fan. Couple 13-14 past here on the Common Man program. Here's a good question. This is the one I should have asked Teneby right away. I'm going to talk a little basketball here, but this one says, do other teams like Dallas have these weaknesses that we have that always get exposed in the playoffs? Why do we always have weaknesses that get exposed in the playoffs? None of the other teams have weaknesses that get exposed in the playoffs. I guess Dallas has a weakness that's been exposed in the playoffs. They either can't or don't want to play defense. But Teneby, why do other teams like Dallas, do they have weaknesses, and why don't we expose them? Can you answer that? You don't need to.
I mean, when they are healthy, they don't have a whole lot of weaknesses. That's why they're one of the best teams in hockey.
Now, the Wolves were dominant last night, and there was some concern that by Jade McDaniels providing allegedly bulletin board material by going, none of those guys can play defense. They're all terrible. And there were a couple of snappy comebacks out of the Denver locker room, but nobody really, said, oh, yeah, well, now you've drawn a line in the sand. Because I think maybe deep down they know they don't play very good defense or can't. I didn't think that was going to be a difference in the game where all of a sudden Denver was going to play brilliantly defensively, and then they were going to go, what do you think of our defense now? As we heard Paul Allen once say. Again, it's just one game. The Wolves have now won 2 in a row. They look to be, and I like parades. It'd be great if they won the whole thing. It still doesn't take away how annoying it is to me to treat the regular season games and your fan base that pays big money to see those games as if they don't matter and you don't try. It's like a pickup basketball game. But we're past that. We're in the playoffs. And right now, the way they're playing, it seems they have, I'm going to say they're on a mission, but they seem to know exactly how to play Denver. They're not supposed to do it, but I'm going to. I'm looking past Denver now, and more than likely it will be San Antonio. That is if Wemby. Now, concussion means you got to be out 48 days. My sources tell me that Wemby was at shoot around today. So more than likely they would take on the San Antonio Spurs if what is it? Is it called chalk? If chalk holds or whatever they say.
That'd be a whole different type of matchup.
Well, it is. And Rudy has been really good against Joker. It's almost as if you remember, he was left off the all-defense team, and all the teammates and the coaches said it's a travesty. There should be a congressional investigation. How do you keep a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year? He doesn't even make the Final Four. Not only does he not win it, but he's not nominated. And then Rudy was even annoyed by it by saying, I've been disrespected. So maybe that has been maybe that's been a kind of a driving force for Rudy also. But I would suppose, you know what, again, you're in the hockey community. I'm in the lazy radio community, so I don't really know the answers to this, if this is even a valid question. But who would be responsible for trying, if you can, to guard Wemby? I mean, is that Rudy?
I would think it's Rudy.
It's got to be Rudy, right?
Yeah.
Now, can Rudy duplicate what he does against Joker? Because he's been pretty good. Now, Joker's still getting his points. It's not like he's being completely shut down. But certainly, he's fine. He's been, but defensively, he's not done much.
I mean, last night he was 7 for 26 from the field. So I would say he was shut down last night.
Yeah, okay.
I know he got 27 points, but that's a bad 27.
Okay, so that's a bad 27. I don't know. Wemby's a different animal, as we know. I mean, they're both great players, Joker and Wemby. So Rudy would have his hands full. I'm sure there's help from Randall and Nas. I don't know. Does he have to help out anybody that's close to 7 feet? If you're 6'10", 6'9", it's probably going to take more than one person to slow him down.
I think it'd be the other side of the court that would be the more interesting, right? Because right now, Denver doesn't have rim protection.
Right.
So the Wolves the last 2 games have been in attack mode, going to the rim, and they've been very successful. That won't work against San Antonio. They have the best rim protector in the entire planet.
Correct.
So your style of play, you probably have to hit more 3-pointers, move the ball around the arc, that kind of stuff would be different against San Antonio than how they're attacking Denver.
I think that's absolutely. Oh, did I say 48 days? I meant 48 hours. Sorry, I was thinking of. Somebody said 48 days, 48 hours you have to sit out in the NBA if you get a concussion.
But I mean, last night, Jokic going 7 of 26, Jamal Murray going 5 of 17.
Yeah.
And that's not just, I wouldn't just say, hey, those two played poorly. They were defended so well last night. Yeah. And Denver has no shot when those two are producing like that offensively.
And then with Gordon out, that doesn't help them either.
No.
And, the Wild have sort of hung their hat on defense. When they play defense, they're a tough out. I don't think there's any, and I feel like any team that is capable of playing good defense is a tough out. But it seems like the Wolves, at least here in this series, enjoy playing defense. My theory, I think a lot of defense is just effort and wanting to play it. I think that was that a quote from Dawn Plitzowite? Did she have that too? Somebody locally here had a quote about defense, just basically saying it's like you gotta want to play defense and enjoy playing defense. And I think a lot of players don't. I just don't think they do, because basketball is one of those sports. Football, there's nobody playing both sides of the ball, right? I mean, it's like you play offense or you play defense. Hockey, you go back and forth. You're playing some defense, but in basketball, it's clear. When you have the ball, you're playing offense. When you don't have the ball, you're playing defense. And some players, I think, don't. Some don't have the aptitude for it. Some don't have the appetite for it. And some don't have the agility for it, the AAA. So, but the Wolves right now play defenses. They put a clinic on in defense against Denver so far. And then Jaden comes out and says they can't play defense, and that was certainly seems like that. So,
well, right now they have Rudy Gobert playing at a level I've never seen him play, and Dante DiVincenzo playing at a level I've never seen him play. And then, so if you're getting anything from Ant and Jade McDaniels was good last night, and if Julius,
Bones, Io
was great. Bones can push the pace. They're pretty tough right now.
Rosen's guy Garza. Oh wait, he's not on the club anymore.
So hopefully they just keep the pedal down, keep the foot on the pedal.
I got a message for San Antonio.
Objects in your mirror may be closer than they appear.
Tenby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit as we always do. It's been a fun week. We'll talk to you next Monday at 12 noon. Big Ticket. JGR next. Right here on the Fan.
Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good night, Minnesota.
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.